Hey, this is a foreigner in the Philippines. Well, what's happening with Big Blue, our truck, our 4x4 truck, and Little Red? Well, as a friend of mine said on Little Red, you've done your best to kill that truck and it's still not killed. Well, our recent catastrophe with Little Red was that we needed an engine rebuild. We had that done. It was a difficult little exercise that we had to go through with a mechanic that we were not very happy with, but the circumstances led us to choose him because he seemed to be the nearest and the easiest way to get there. It was just 6 kilometers to where his shop was and something like 20 to where our usual mechanic Nestor was. And anyway, our mechanic Nestor was in Cebu when we tried to get him, so that's why we made our secondary choice. It's okay, but it looks like Little Red is going to need another front end rebuild. Fact is that our road up to the house is just too tough for most vehicles, even though they may be built for off-road. There's a huge amount of difference between going off-road at the weekend in an expensively prepared vehicle and bashing along for a few hours and having great fun and then towing what's left of your specially prepared vehicle back home to get it repaired. We don't have that luxury. We're up and down our path, our off-road challenge every day, and it takes its toll of our Little Red, and we've already replaced all of the bushings on the front, and it's going to have to be done again. Now luckily I've formed relationships with the local parts store, which is just about a quarter-mile from where Nestor's shop is, Nestor being our mechanic. And let me explain the way that it works in the Philippines. In my experience so far, you put your vehicle in and you say, well, it's going clumpy clonk clink clink on the front, can you have a look at it and see why? And he says, I certainly will. And then you come back maybe 2 hours later thinking it will be repaired, and they've just taken it to pieces and lying on the ground in front of the truck or whatever vehicle it is. You have the parts that need to be replaced. So they put those in a bag for you, and you get a tricycle down to the store, which is, as they say, a quarter of a mile away, and you plonk the stuff onto the desk, the counter, and they bring some other choices up, and you choose whichever one is the closest to the one that you believe that you need, and you take it back to the mechanic, and he fits it. Now, there's no such thing as in America where you would actually expect that they would provide the parts and you would have nothing to do with it until your vehicle was brought out in a finished workable form. It doesn't happen like that. So what I've done is I've gone to the little parts place. I've been in there many times, and I formed a friendly relationship with the lady that runs that store, and I've said, if Nestor comes along and he needs bushings or he needs a part, will you please give it to him and I'll stop by and pay you. And that's worked, and she has been more than willing to do that. So that's how we're doing it on the Little Red. We'd actually left the Red with Nestor to have him look at the front end and to renew all the bushings. But then we had him look at the blue truck, and even though it's one of those things, isn't it? This is why a friend of mine believes in gremlins. It's one of those things where it's going clonky clonk, clink clink, bang bang, jump jump, and surging and stopping, and it's doing all of that when it's just you in the truck or the car. And then as soon as you take it into the mechanic, it behaves like a Rolls Royce and or a Cadillac, just to keep everybody happy on that. And you can't get it to misbehave. and we were not able to. Well, we did actually go out, and I took the son of Nestor out, and we managed to get it just give a ghost of the noises that it was making when we tried to get up to the house on the off-road section of our road home. And anyway, we tried, and we did get it to make some of the noises, and then he took it back, and I left the Blue with Nestor, and I came back this morning and he said, we can't make it do those noises, we can't make it misbehave. Well, it turned out that they didn't have the hubs locked. So I said, well, you didn't have the hubs locked, that's why. So we left it again. Well, we had our choice of whether we would try to get home with the Blue, and he said, well, it's going to, he looked at it again, he said it's going to need a bushing on there, so we're going to have to get those, and they only have them in Cebu. So I was set for Monday to go to Cebu. So we tried to get home then, and of course our well-behaved truck that had taken us all the way home, right up to the 20-stepped church, which is the start of the road, and we started on our way up on the path, which is off-road. Straight away the gremlins returned, and the noise was incredible. It sounded like the transmission was going to fall out, and we ended up doing a U-turn, which wasn't easy, and we took the thing back to Nestor and we left it with him, and we're going to go the normal route now. I'll go back tomorrow, he will produce the part that I need to replace, and on Monday I'll go down, take the ferry, and I will go to Cebu, and I'll find that part. So that's our little update on our 4x4 catastrophes. Fortunately, the red, which we reclaimed from Nestor, took us all home, and even though it sounds terrible, it still gets us up the hill. That's the little red for you. You can't kill it. So, thanks for looking in. Bye for now.